Like, have you ever woke up in the morning and you're just like, shit, man, like, why am I doing this? I'm just like playing a part here. I don't know why I'm doing this. Have you ever been in that kind of been in
I don't
that
know
place
exactly.
where you wake up and you're like, why am I doing this job? Why am I going to
Oh
school for
yeah,
this? Why am I seeing this girl? And you're like, holy fuck, man, what's going on with my life here? I
okay.
don't
You
know
made a
why
little
I'm
bit
doing,
more.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
People that
you made
don't
a
have
little
a
bit more plain
strong
now.
why.
Definitely, man. I've been in that place in the workplace, and like, hey, why am I here? Because
Hmm.
unfortunately, I've been in situations where I got passed up on promotions after they told me I was going to get promotions at several different places, man. So you're like, what am I even doing in this place in this position? Yeah, and then you just dread going in, and there's no really reason why you continue to do it, but for some reason you just continue to go back when you should
Yeah.
just quit.
Well, I've been reading this book, and it's not a new one. It's Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And he basically gets to the central court, and he calls it the golden circle. And in the middle is why. In the outer circle is what. And then the third layer is how. I mean, you can
Hmm.
quickly Google it right now if you want. And like maybe I can like find it and screen share it. But basically, your why is the reason that you get out of bed every morning. And everything you do has to align with your why. Otherwise, you're not authentic, right?
Yeah.
So he uses businesses as examples, but it doesn't matter. So it could be a business or a person, right? So the big example he uses is Apple. And Apple's why they do things is to challenge the status quo. That's Apple. So when computers first came out, it was like you had to be a geek to use it. You know what I mean? You had to look a
Yeah.
certain way. The computer looked like God, who knows what it looked like. It didn't look so friendly. And it's almost like the everyday person couldn't use a computer. It's only for a geek or a coder or like someone that's in systems and networks or like something like that. And then Apple kind of challenged that idea and said that basically, no, computers are for everyone. And they're for artsy people, they're for people in their home, they're for people who want to make music, they're for the everyday person like myself and yourself. So they challenged the concept. And then they even challenged the way that it looks. And they
Yeah.
design and look at the way that the MacBook looks, it looks completely different than what a PC looks like. And someone that uses a Mac would never use a PC. There are two different types of people. Apple users are completely different than PC users. Would you agree?
Yeah. Definitely.
Like a more artsier person, or I picture somebody in a cafe with like, more artsy piercings or a tattoo or funky hair. You know what I mean? Like you might say it's a stereotype, but that sounds more like an Apple user than
Yeah.
a Mac user. So that's why they do things. They challenge the status quo,
Hmm.
right? So that's their why. So every time they make a product, they have to say, "Am I challenging what the norm is?" Like with the phone, they challenge what a phone should be, right? So that's in.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I just switched over to speaking while you talking about that too, which is within the like last week from an Android to an iPhone, and for some reason this just feels like a premium device. Everything still feels so premium with it. You feel like you really have something here.
So
You
just
know,
with the example of Apple, it's not a company anymore; it's a cause. It's
yeah,
challenging the status quo of technology and bringing it to everyday people like me and you. So that's their why. And what Sinek basically says in this book, Start With Why, is that every one of us should clearly know what our why is.
well, why is
Most people start with how. You say,
yeah,
oh, I'm gonna build a business.
Yeah.
Like, let's say someone, a rival of yours, one of your rivals comes down next to you down the street. I'm gonna do what Jeremiah's doing. I'm building a business. He knows how. He goes out and gets all the equipment that you have, and he gets a space, and he's sitting in his gym now ready to train, but nobody shows up
Nobody shows up.
because he doesn't know why he's doing it. You know
Yeah.
why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So that's basically what he covers in this book, is to have a strong why and filter every decision you make through your why.
You have to, man, and you got to go deep. You know, when you first messaged me about the topic, I was actually looking at this form for a coaching program, and I wanted to say, let's go 8 levels deep in your why. You know, really going layer after layer deep of why you're doing things. And it's so important because that's the driving force. That's the engine that's got the sustainable fuel. You know, when you're doing, let's like use the fitness thing in the competition. Well, I know how to do this. I know how to put weightlifting equipment in a building. I know how to train. But why are you doing it? Why are you in the industry? You know, are you here to help people? Are you here to empower people? Are you just here to make a dollar? And then that makes the world of a difference, because at the end of the day, if you're not able to make that dollar, you're gonna go by the wayside. But if you're able to say, why am I doing this? I'm helping people. Then you're gonna continue to help people, and then you're gonna get over the bridge. So yeah, man, I really dig that.
Totally. And helping people, there's your why, right? And so I recently asked someone, what's your perfect lifestyle? Well, in a perfect life, what would you be doing? And he goes, oh, probably sitting on a beach somewhere, drinking. And I'm just like, that's it. And I was like, thought to myself, why?
Yeah.
What satisfaction would you get from that? Just if that's all you could do with your life, the perfect life, sitting on a beach and drinking. Like that's what this guy thought that the perfect life would be for him.
Yeah.
That's just a funny example that I brought up.
That's what a lot of people think, man. They think that, hey, if I just had no worries in the world, but then that's why people out of retirement, they're most, if they're worker in a purposeful work, then they just want to continue to do something in that field. It's just like that movie. I think we might have talked about it before, where the guy dies and they take his consciousness, put it in a young person, and when he first gets back, he starts partying again, but he never really thinks and looks at what is the purpose, and you're missing the whole big picture. In my belief, when we talk about why, I think we're here to help others, man. There's so many on this journey and on this path that are lost and sitting on the side of the road. We're here to help them, and we're here to meet them too, because they help us. They help us grow into whatever we're supposed to be, because as a teacher, you ain't a teacher unless you got a student, you know. You ain't a business owner till you got a customer, you know. You ain't in a relationship till you got somebody to dance with. So
No, I totally agree with you. And so, an example that he uses, well, one of the core things that he teaches in this book is
yeah,
any company, the CEO should embody the why
yeah,
we're doing this. When you look at Tesla, and why is it so polarizing? Like, I'm not sure if you'd buy. I'm not sure if you'd buy a Tesla. If I could give you any free car in the world right now, I'd go for one. I'm a Tesla guy, and it's not the fact that I think the Tesla is the best looking car on the market. It's not because I think it's the most powerful car on the market, but I believe in that why
yeah,
of not burning fossil fuels, of having a cleaner environment, of saving our planet, and of developing the highest technology and challenging the old ways of driving like these gas powered vehicles. It's not so much the vehicle, it's the
yeah,
why that I'm buying into with that. And the leader embodies it. Now, what do you think about that? Do you see that
Man, it starts from
anywhere?
top down, man. It starts from top down. Yeah, you're definitely right. We look at like a franchise like the Lakers,
Hmm.
and you look at, the leader, on the floor, but also the leader off the floor. The owner has to be on a certain page, the GM, and it goes down, so I definitely agree with you with saying the CEO has to believe in the why. Why are we doing this?
The
You
CEO
know,
is the why.
he is the
Basically,
why.
you
Yeah,
show up
he's
and like, my people, this is our
yeah,
company. If it's Yogi Infinite or Yogi Infinite, I'd be saying we are here to enlighten
yeah,
the planet. It's our job to make sure every human being is woke.
definitely.
We are spiritual messengers. So if the CEO can't deliver that message, well, now you've just got a company of people doing God knows what, totally not on the same page.
I could definitely see you hopping in a board meeting and doing that shit though. Hopping on the table. Hey, listen, let's all meditate today. They're like, man, you gotta sell some
Like, are
cars.
you sure about this? Like, he's signing the checks, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. No, but man, yeah. And I mean, and that just comes down to, you know, that also comes down to on the other side, it's like a spiritual vibratory frequency that this person's putting off. And that's what they're able to keep everybody going and rise and keep the thing rolling with that why. Because your why got to go deep. It's got to go deep.
Real
Even
deep
then,
to the
it's got to
soul
go
level
deep,
of the soul.
Yeah, I mean, your vision got to be so big that, man, like, and that's how I feel, I mean, not to talk about myself, but in the fitness world, that's how I feel. I'm like, when I first came in the game, I provided a service that nobody else was providing. I made sure people I was providing some mental coaching and different things like that.
Hmm.
And just going above and beyond when I say I provided a service that nobody else was providing. So now today, I still want to provide that same service. And now
Hmm.
today, when I wake up, I know that I can't lay here depressed, laying around all day because there's people that depend on me. It's the engine
Hmm.
that keep it rolling. Like one day I was sitting at my desk and I was down, like, maybe one, you get 1 2 days out of the year, you just feel a rut. And the lady's like, came over to me and she's like, man, the only reason why I come here because I just love to hear your laugh in the background. And I never really talked to that lady at all, but she just that day she came over to the desk. She said, "I just love to hear your laugh in the background."
Mm.
So giving that energy, even though when you don't know you're putting that off, so that person is so crucial because you don't know you're affecting everybody at every level. You know.
There you go. A lot of the times we don't know why we're so valuable to other people. But right there, it was something that you would have never even guessed. Now you can take that and turn it up a little when need be,
Yeah.
right? If I'm in a situation and I'm adding value, I'd like to know why it is,
Yeah.
because the more value we provide in any given situation, the more success we have. That was
Yeah.
interesting. It was interesting feedback you gave. But I think some of the worst, let me rephrase that. Some of the most kind of lost people in life that I've seen or come across, it comes from a lack of knowing why they're doing what they're doing, and they appear to be spiritually lost, maybe even depressed, because
Yeah.
they have no inner driving mechanism, the why, the center of that golden circle.
Yes.
So forget what, there's no why. So I like, when you talk about the mentorship program, I think that would bring a lot of value to our listeners and to our tribe if we can get everyone sharpened with the why.
Yeah. And with the coaching and the mentorship, but as well as maybe just connecting you with the right people that can help you out too. We got a big network of people that we have access to that, and some people don't have access to anybody. So getting some mentoring, some coaching is going to allow them to maybe meet that right person that helps them, you know, really craft their vision, you
Mhm.
know. Because just like you said, it's spiritual, man, you know, and the people that's just like, they go around and it's like aimlessly, that's not a life to live. You want to live a life of purpose. You know, what's your purpose? You know, and that's, I mean, and everything boils down to that. Is your purpose just to, you know, wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep? You know, you got to break out of that cycle. You
That's
know,
where
are you?
people turn somewhere else for knowledge because they cannot they don't have a way of self-realization.
Yeah,
So they'll turn to religion, they may turn somewhere else
yeah,
to become realized.
yeah.
How
They
does
want
one
to turn it
develop
off.
a how does one develop a why? How did you develop your why? How did you come across this path?
Um, Man, I always knew I wanted to help people. You
Hmm.
know, I have a passion for helping people. I hate to see people treated bad, and I hate to see people not living their life to the fullest potential. You know, I have a fully handicapped, disabled little brother, and he
Hmm.
can't walk, can't talk, can't hear, can't see, because they botched his surgery when he was only 3 years old, a
Oh
brain
wow.
tumor. And when you're, that's one of the worst cancers to have because your body's still growing. So, you know, I've always felt in my mind, like, who am I to take my life for granted? You know, I'm a good talker. You know, I'm good looking, and you know, and you know, I'm charismatic. So, I mean, like, who am I to take, you know, all my talents for granted when here you have somebody I look at and they can't do those things. You know, so I feel like I'm living for two. You know, so that's my
Hmm.
why. I do it for him, and I want to magnify that because I don't want to take anything for granted, and I don't want anybody else to take their life for granted. You know, I want to, you know, that's my thing. I want them to be soldiers of Tyrone and say, hey, man, I'm going to do something. This guy can't do nothing. I can do something, and I'm
Hmm.
going to do it. You know, don't take your life for granted. Don't take your mind for granted.
There you go, and it's embedded in your very spirit, your very soul. I can tell. It's not a what, it's a why,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. What about you?
Well, I guess with myself, I mean, I had a very challenging upbringing, family situation and whatnot. And then through all that kind of the dark times, I always felt that a different, there was some type of higher power, a different dimension. I always saw myself being able to control something or wield something in my mind, in my dreams. And I believed that one day I would. And through spirituality, I mean, I believe I have. I've been able to leverage something that a lot of people will never, a dimension which a lot of people will never enter in their
Yes.
in their life. And there's different layers to this as well. Um, and the moment that I started experiencing it and tapping into it and developing more of this spiritual muscle through spiritual practice, through discipline, um, the better results I had in life and the more confident I became. And then I knew I have to tell other people about this because it has worked so well for me. And it has nothing to do with my body. It's not about, being stronger than somebody else or, it doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what your diet is, whether you're a vegan or whether you're, eat meat. That's up to you. This is a completely different dimension beyond the physical, where everything gets into alignment, where now even your dreams are playing a part of your reality.
Definitely.
You're forecasting your own reality in your dreams. Everything is in alignment rather than all over the place,
Yes.
right? You connect the dots is basically what it is. And the why, that's a spiritual thing, right? You're not going to wake up one day and be like, holy shit, this is my purpose and be ignited for the rest of your life. There's going to have to be some type of journey, right? There's going to
It's
have
got
to
to be a
be.
journey, man.
Mhm.
Remember, like Matt, one of our guests, he was talking about, his journey. You remember, the guy that jumped
Yes,
off the roof,
I
and
remember that.
he's just yeah, he's like, I remember, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, no, he was a good guest.
He was a great guest too, but I was just like, man, that was a wild story. Um,
It was a wild
but
story. Yeah, no, it
that's how
was a
you end up
wild
finding
story.
yourself.
He had to go
That's
through
how
all
you,
that. Yeah.
man. I'm like, damn.
But you know what? He seems like he's happy. I see him. I see him doing his thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, he's reached out. I reached out to him, and we need to have him back on because it's just so powerful. But with his story, he had to go through that, traumatic experience, breaking his legs and trying to commit suicide
Yeah.
because and I hope that people at home don't have to go through that because you don't have to go through that alone. You got like you were just talking about infinite. You rising yourself up to a certain level. If people are in a place where they don't not, just get yourself next to somebody that knows their purpose, and they're going to help you begin to rise up and find
Mm-hmm.
your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because with purpose, get around a purpose-driven person and see if you don't find your purpose.
Yes. Yes.
See if you don't find your work.
Yes. I mean, the old saying of you're an average of the five people around you.
Yeah,
So, I mean, how could you find your purpose if you're not, around similar minded people? But that's not necessarily true. I have seen light
yeah,
shine out of darkness.
definitely. Mm. Mm.
Definitely. But the thing about this journey is no one can do it for you.
Nobody.
Nobody can do it for you. But a lot of it is building that tribe you talked about. Build your tribe. I mean, law of attraction. Without a tribe,
Yeah,
who are you attracting? I mean,
yeah,
it's that network by providing
network.
value.
Definitely. And I mean, you just want to be surrounded by the right people. You know what I'm saying? At first you might find yourself around the wrong people, but you need to begin to eliminate those people. Not like Liam Neeson, but just get them away from you. you know, and get them away from you, and then find some quality people because there's tons of quality people out there. So find some quality people that's going to uplift me, and we can build and grow together. You know, and build and grow together. That's
Absolutely. We're going to build our tribe, and then our tribe will help us, of course, because we're going to be bouncing our energy off of them, and
yeah,
then they're going to be reciprocating, and we're going to have all that energy within us, and then we're going to help our tribe as well, and we're going to help them go through that journey, guide them through the journey because we've been through that journey. And just because we've been through that journey once doesn't mean that we're going to go all the way to the end without veering off that road. We ain't perfect either, which is why we need that tribe as well. We all stick together and realize our dreams and our goals through our
yeah,
why, developing that strong why, which only can happen in the spiritual dimension. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And that doesn't mean you can't find it in the gym. You can
yeah.
develop that spiritual mental muscle in the gym.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I used to go to this gym where nobody was there, and sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I did. I used to go to this gym and just work out and pray and meditate and just get in my zone. And sometimes you just got to go deep within yourself to
Mm-hmm.
begin to eliminate those things that hold on to you. See, the thing about it, sometimes like we talk about networking, we talk about people, but people leave their mark on you too as well. And if they've done something that's damaged you, it will sit around and float in your mind, even though the person might not still be around physically. uh, to still call it that disturbance, but it's still a disturbance that you have to deal with. So, you know, in the journey of finding your why and going levels deep, you know, you have to begin to even look at that and put that aside. You know, what's holding me back? Why can't I find my why? What's holding me back? Why do I have these um, disturbing beliefs, you know, or these negative beliefs about who I am as an individual or as a person? Why do I have these limiting beliefs? You know, so going deep and analyzing that and analyzing oneself, that's why personal development is so important, you know, so you can begin to grow and begin to annihilate the things that are holding you back so you can rise spiritually.
And first, you need to understand what limiting belief is. Because, I mean, most of what people believe has been forced upon them, you know, and a lot of it where it's just conditioned to believe that, you know, we can't do this, or we can never have a certain level of income, or we're never gonna be able to get with a certain or have a relationship with a certain person or hold a certain job. It's a limiting belief from everything we've seen in the past and experienced. And it's what can I say? There's an abundance mindset, and then there's what you would call like what, a poverty mindset,
Poverty, scarcity,
scarcity
you know,
mindset.
I was so I do some mentoring even in the gym and stuff like that, and you know people, and there was a situation that came about where these guys were like trying to, what I would say, get over on these kids about their pricing. They were just trying to, you know, be schemers or whatever. And I had to explain to him, I'm like, they're living in a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
So that penny to them is everything because they're like, if I let the penny go, that's not a good mindset to be in. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I got to hold on. You know, and that's not abundance. It's not letting it flow. And
Mm-mm.
things won't flow your way because you're just holding on to it so tight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't even see nothing else.
It's the
You can't
reason
even
that
see that
yeah.
go ahead. What were you saying?
There's a reason that people will walk by the homeless person and not even throw them a dollar.
Not even give them a dollar. Not even give them a
That
sandwich.
scarcity
You know,
mindset.
oh man, you know,
It's
it's
not
just a
because that
backwards
dollar is going to make
mindset.
a difference for them.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just like you talk about somebody staying at a job too long, staying in a relationship too long, doing things too long because they're holding on to this. Oh,
Mm.
well, this is the only job. Well, what about the job across the street?
Yeah. So let
You
me
know.
ask you a question.
Hmm.
If you were buying a brand new car,
Yeah.
and let's say one car was 50,000 and you could easily afford that one.
Yeah.
And let's say the second car was 90,000 and you're
Okay.
like, "You know what? Now we're really pushing it now." Right?
Uh huh.
And you're just like, "I want to do it, but I really can't afford this $90,000 car, but I want to
Yeah.
do it." And your wife's kind of like giving you that look like, "I'd love that car." But you're like, "You know what I mean? Damn, I'm going to have to work hard and grind this." Now, if the salesman on the $90,000 car who's trying to sell you that car, what if he had a poverty mindset? How do you think that he would be behaving and acting when he's selling you that car versus a salesman who has an abundance mindset and believes in spending and
Yeah.
wealth and investing?
Yeah.
And so I'll buy you lunch. Come on. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Jeremiah? I know it's a hard decision.
Yeah.
Come on, let me buy you lunch. You go down, buy you a beer, come back against the guy with a poverty mindset who's never really spent a dollar in his life. He never bought the $90,000 car.
Yeah.
He's not going to try to sell you on it because he doesn't know all the benefits of it. He's not going to get the sale.
Yeah.
So when you have a
Yeah.
poverty mindset, the reason I gave you that kind of bizarre story is like people read it right off of you and you ain't going
Yeah.
to attract shit.
Oh man. Oh man, it's so true, man. It's so true. You made me think of a story too as well, and you know I'll sum it up like this because, but the guy was talking about how he got his first Rolls Royce, He said, I went to the dealership and got him one. And then next thing you know, I had one. And I couldn't afford it for nothing, but I went and got him one. He put himself in that mindset, he put himself in that reality. So it immediately shifted and changed his reality. Like, yeah, I can drive that car. Opposed to you, like your salesman, he's like, he ain't even went close to them cars, won't sit in them, works at the dealership, won't even go to that side of the dealership. He's staying in the cars that's turned in. I can sell these
So how the
cars.
fuck is he
They
going to
just
sell you
got
that
that
car
trade.
when he's not sold on it himself?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Ding
That's
ding
that's
ding.
yeah. Law of
Yeah,
attraction, right? Simplified lesson on law of
yeah.
attraction right there.
Law of attraction, man. So
Yeah.
important, man. You know that, man. So important. So important, man. And people don't understand it. Just shift that mind and watch everything change around you. Just
Hell
shift
yeah,
it.
man.
Boom. It'll literally change overnight. But you got to be ready to receive it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be around, you got to align yourself with
Mm-hmm.
the right people,
Mm-hmm. And
people
know
that have a purpose
why
themselves and know
you're doing
why.
what you're doing. And
Yeah.
not a selfish why. It's not like, why? Because I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
But why
But
do you
why?
want to do that?
Yeah.
And by the way, just a million, kid? Come on. You're going to be
Yeah.
broke in no time. Instead
Yeah.
of why do
Yeah.
you want to be a
Which,
millionaire? I want to be a billionaire. Why?
why?
So I can donate all of it away to so many different charities and feel so good with my life. And on my deathbed, hell, man, if you want to send me to hell, go for it. I did the best I could do. Wait,
Go for it. No, definitely, man.
money
Get the
can't
close
take you
eyes and
to
say, hey, I made
donating.
an
Money can't
impact,
take you to
man.
heaven. Then maybe I got to do something else. Work. But man, I
Man.
think that was a pretty good episode. I've got to cut it short on this one.
Okay.
Got to go pick up the wife. But that was a really good episode on why. And I think we should really continue to develop that topic of how people can develop a why, and then a what, then how, because people get it totally mixed up in the completely
Yeah.
wrong order.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to take the right steps, man, to get to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the simple steps, but you might need a guide.
You might, and we're your guys, and we're developing that program. So definitely stick with us. In the meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'll give you some. I'm gonna say it's required reading. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Maybe it's not the most interesting read. It's a bit dry, but he gets his point across. Especially if you're in the business world, which we want you to be.
Yeah.
Read this book, and it will show you why you should create it will help you with the why on why you create your business, and it will make you a better leader and increase your EQ, emotional quotient, intellectual quotient. You need them both.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right.
So we good until next week.
It's good, man. It's good. I think you summed it up pretty well. You closed it out. So we'll continue to dive deeper. We went deep, fast.
All right, to our fans, we'll see you next week.